On the 6th of November 2004, a passenger train sped along the Reading to Taunton line in Berkshire. Ahead was a level crossing at Ufton Nervet. The barriers were down, the warning lights were flashing. Everything was working exactly as it should. But on the tracks sat a car. The train driver had seconds to react. At nearly 100 miles per hour, there was no time to stop. The train slammed into the vehicle. The impact was devastating. Carriages derailed, metal twisted. Passengers were thrown violently through the train. 7 people lost their lives, including both the train driver and the driver of the car. At first, investigators searched for answers. Was it a signalling failure? A fault with the barriers? A mistake by railway staff? But what they discovered was even more chilling. Everything had worked perfectly. The crossing, the signals, the systems, the crew. There was no mechanical failure, no human error from the railway. The crash had been caused deliberately. The driver of the car had parked on the crossing and waited. This wasn't an accident, it was an act of suicide. But even though the railway wasn't at fault, this tragedy still changed the rules. Investigators asked a difficult question. Could the train itself have protected passengers better? The Rail Safety and Standards Board began a detailed study. They looked at stronger, laminated windows, designed to keep passengers inside the carriage during an impact. Because in crashes like this, many injuries occur when people are thrown through glass. The findings were clear. Laminated glass could improve survival by containing passengers within the train. But what about seatbelts? It might sound like an obvious solution, yet the evidence showed the opposite. In most train accidents, seatbelts would actually cause more harm than good. They could trap passengers and increase injuries during complex derailments. So the idea was rejected. But the danger at Ufton Nervet didn't end in 2004. In the years that followed, there were more fatal incidents at the same crossing. And even a near miss. When a train passed through without the barriers fully down, the risk was still there. So eventually, a final decision was made. In 2016, the level crossing was closed forever, replaced by a road bridge, separating rail and road completely. No signals, no barriers, no chance of another tragedy. This disaster wasn't caused by failure. It was caused by something far more difficult to control, but it still forced change. Because on the railway, even when everything works, lessons must still be learned. If you found this story powerful or thought-provoking, please take a moment to like, share and subscribe. It really helps support the channel and allows me to keep telling these important stories. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting the channel.